Hi, everybody. Dennis here. I'm just here to help with report cards writing and also how it works with PowerTeacher Pro. As you can see, we got our report card in front of us. There's a few of you that have been using PowerTeacher Pro differently. So there's a few scenarios that we're going to go through. The first scenario is you didn't use PowerTeacher Pro for any of the gradebook procedures or the features in there. You're basically using your own system. Maybe it's a Google Classroom, or you have your own spreadsheet, or maybe you're just handwriting it in there in a gradebook on your own. Totally up to you how you can do that. That's for you today. We're gonna, or for this particular video, how do we manually put that into PowerTeacher Pro? So what I'm going to be doing with these videos is just show you where, and here's a couple things I want to show you. These codes, where do they show up in PowerTeacher Pro? Here's the learning behaviors, where do they show up, and so on. Okay, so let's flip over to a teacher's gradebook. And this particular teacher did not put any kind of assignment in. I'm just going to go back into the assignment list. So you'll notice here that there's no assignment in this particular teacher's gradebook. Okay, so how do we get marks into this so they have a report card? So number one, we're just going to take a look up here. Make sure you're in Q1. That's number one. For sure you have that selected. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to grading, A+ grading, and we're just going to click on that. And we want to go down to standards. So make sure you click on standards. There we go. So once we're in here, you'll see your students on the left-hand side. This Q1 is where you put your marks in. So very simply, I just click on that box. I can put in a mark. So if you have it already calculated, that mark goes in. There's two marks. One is called the mark and one's called percentage. The division office pulls, I can't remember how they pull it, but it's that mark will show up in your report card. So if you remember, if we go back to a report card, that particular area, I'm just going to clear this here. Clear that out. And that, if we go into the actual, so for example, this might be your first course. That particular mark would go right here. Term one, we call it Q1, goes right in here. That's where that mark's going to show up when you type in that Q1 mark. Okay, so the next thing is, what about a comment? So right in this box right here in the Q1 box, I'm just going to move myself out of the way here. There we go. You can actually write a comment. You can see there's a comment box right down here. You can also make it bigger. I already have a video set up or created for how to do comments and how to bank your comments. So you can use them use different comments with different pronouns and so on. Please check that out. That'll be helpful as well. But this is where you would put your comments in. And if I were to put a comment here, I'm just going to put some gobbledygook in. You can see that a little comment box shows up right there. And that's basically how you put a comment in for each of your students. All right, so I'm going to get out of that. What's next on the list? We'll put this back to, there we go. Next on the list here is this first column is personal management skills. And these are the learning behaviors we talked about, personal management skills. You click on the box there, you can see your cursor, or consistently, usually, sometimes, rarely. And then you can put that in there as well. So you can just go along, and we'll put that one as a U and this one as a S. This last column here is the IEP. So if your student happens to be on an IEP, you would just select that, and that will check off the IEP box. So if we go back into the report card, that's where these would show up. So those last columns that we did is right in here under learning behaviors, right in here. That's where those would show up. And of course, the IEP would be selected, and that is right there. Okay, so, and then we already talked about the comments. Obviously, the comments would show up here. Now, there's one thing I didn't share with you right now, so let's do that right now so we don't forget, is these codes. These are the codes right here that I didn't really talk about. Where do you put those in, if especially if you're in grade, I think it's grade 11 and 12 phys ed need these codes, especially these two, the CO and the IN. And of course, there's the no exam, and then there's a no mark code. So where did those fit in? So I'll just show you where that is. In your comments, or where you're putting it, sorry, not your comments, but where you put in your marks, right in here, if I click on that, you'll notice that there's a little code box right here, code box right there. And when I click on that code box, there are my codes. And of course, if you forget what those codes mean, you can just go over here where it says show more. If I click on show more, it'll show me what those codes mean right up in here. If I go codes, and I have it right there if I need it. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the report card, how to put in your marks manually into a report card. Let me know if you have any questions, and have fun making your report cards. See ya. Have a great day.